All right, let's talk about something that affects so many of us but often goes completely unnoticed. We're going to get into a kind of hair loss that might, just might, be caused by your absolute favorite hairstyle. Seriously, think about it for a second. That super sleek ponytail you wear to work, those beautiful, intricate braids, or the amazing volume you get from extensions, they make you feel great, right? But what if you've been noticing a little extra thinning around your hairline? Well, you are definitely not the only one. There's actually a name for this, and it's directly connected to these kinds of styles. It's a condition called traction alopecia. So, what is it? Well, traction alopecia is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's hair loss that happens because of constant, long-term tension on your hair follicles. Imagine a slow, steady pull on your hair, day after day. Over time, that pull weakens the follicle's grip until it just gives up and the hair falls out. And the culprits behind this are things many of us do all the time. We're talking about those super tight ponytails, buns, and braids that really pull at the scalp. Heavy extensions and weaves add this constant weight and tension. But it's not just the styles themselves. Frequent chemical relaxers, constant heat styling that pulls the hair straight, and yep, even wearing tight hats or helmets on the regular can all contribute. And it's so important to get this. We're not just talking about a few extra strands in the shower. If you don't address it, that constant pulling can lead to really noticeable thinning and patchy spots. And in the worst cases, the hair follicle can get so damaged that it becomes permanent. But okay, it is not all bad news. Not at all. Your first line of defense is just being a little more proactive. So let's jump into some simple, super effective tips for prevention and care. And the best part, these changes are actually pretty easy to make. For starters, just give your scalp a break. Go for looser styles. Try to switch it up so you're not always pulling on the exact same spots day in and day out. Oh, and pay attention to your accessories. Swapping out tight elastics for soft things like silk or satin scrunchies makes a huge difference. And here's a big one. Try not to tie your hair up when it's wet, because that's when it's most fragile. Of course, easing up on harsh chemicals and high heat, plus giving yourself a gentle scalp massage now and then, all of it helps. It really all comes down to this simple truth. Healthy hair begins with a healthy scalp. You gotta nourish the roots to get those rewards of thick, full hair. It all starts at the source. So, prevention is step one. But what if you're already seeing some signs? What if the damage is already done? Well, let's look at how science can help us go beyond just preventing it to actually reversing it. And here is the really good news. Traction alopecia is often reversible. But, and this is the key, you have to catch it early. Stepping in sooner rather than later can completely change the outcome. So how do the pros tackle this? Well, one great example is from Wellaholic. They use this multifaceted approach built around a plan they call Hair Grow 3X. Let's break down what that actually means. The Hair Grow 3X plan is basically a three-pronged attack designed to work together. First, there's scalp RF microneedling. Second is low-level laser therapy, or LLT for short. And third, you have the minoxidil scalp booster. Let's see how each one does its job. Okay, step one. Scalp RF microneedling. This is way more than just standard microneedling. It combines radiofrequency energy with these super fine needles. This double whammy wakes up those sleepy hair follicles, and just as importantly, it tells your body to produce more collagen, which makes your whole scalp healthier and stronger. And you know, the science is one thing, but real-world results are another. A client, Vijay Ganesh, mentioned his therapist, Connie, did a wonderful job, and more importantly, that he started seeing real results after a few sessions. That's the kind of feedback that really matters. And the clinical data backs it up. We're talking about a study that found RF microneedling can boost hair density by up to 25% after a year. A 25% improvement is something you can definitely see and feel. Next up in the trio is step 2, low-level laser therapy. This is a totally non-invasive treatment. It uses specific wavelengths of light to basically give your scalp cells a major energy boost. It improves blood flow and just supercharges the follicles to get back to the business of growing hair, all without any pain. And how well does it work? A 2013 study found that LLT led to a 39% increase in hair growth in just 16 weeks. That's an incredible result in a pretty short amount of time. And the final piece of the puzzle is the minoxidil scalp booster. Now, many of us have heard of minoxidil. It's a proven ingredient, but the real magic here is in the delivery. This treatment uses a cool technology called electroporation to get that minoxidil way down deep into the scalp, right where the follicles live. And this comparison just makes it crystal clear. With standard topical stuff, the minoxidil kind of just sits on the surface of your scalp. It has a hard time getting where it needs to go. But with the scalp booster method, we're talking 17 times better absorption. It's not just on your scalp, it's in your follicles. That's the difference between good results and game-changing, supercharged results. Okay, so we've got the science down, but you're probably wondering, what does this path to regrowth actually look like? What should you really expect? Let's walk through it. The journey is definitely a process. So in the first month or so, it's all about getting your scalp healthy, and you'll probably notice you're shedding less hair. Then, around that 2 to 3 month mark, weeks 8 to 12, that's when you start to see the first visible signs of new density. But by months 3 to 6, that's when you can expect to see those really significant wow results with more thickness and better coverage. And if you need one last number to really anchor those expectations, look at this. An incredible 82% of patients, that's more than 8 out of every 10 people, report over a 50% improvement in their hair growth in just 12 weeks of microneedling. That just shows you how effective a consistent, professional plan can be. And all of this leads to a really empowering message, which is captured perfectly right here. Don't let hair loss define you. Take control and find a solution that works for you. So we've covered the cause, that constant tension from our hairstyles, and we've seen a powerful, science-backed solution. This leaves us with just one last question. And this one's for you. Now that you know all this, what's the first step you're going to take for your hair's future?